Hello, everybody, and welcome to Talking Horses, presented by Saratoga Water. And what better way to present today's Talking Horses, Greg Wolf, Andy Serling, than to be in Saratoga?
I'm privileged to kick off this racing festival meet, to be on this program. I always love doing this with you, but to start it off, so much fun. That we just talked about how many races they have coming up over the next 4 days, 48 races. 24 of those races are stakes races.
And they're good ones, too. And it's an amazing weekend. And, the anticipation for this, for some of us who knew we were probably going to do this over a year ago, we've been thinking about it. And I think the public's known about it for well over 6 months. And to finally be here and to have gotten lucky with the weather, which was so supposed to be awful all day and raining. And now they're talking about very late in the day, maybe some showers. But I mean, we feel like we're already ahead of the game, and it's just so great to be back in Saratoga.
Got to pitch yourself that, this moment's finally arrived, that we're here having the oldest Triple Crown race there is at the oldest racetrack and most iconic racetrack there is in the game.
Right, in 4 days here, and some might say, well, that's just an appetizer for the Saratoga meet, which starts about a month from now, but this ain't no appetizer. This is an amazing weekend of racing, and Greg and I will kick things off in just a minute, but we have a bunch of things to talk about, as well as Naira Bets. Head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member. Use the promo code Belmont25. We're in Saratoga, but it's Belmont Stakes Racing Festival weekend. $200 sign-up bonus and a free $25 bet for the Belmont Stakes. We have so much. Pick 6 carryover. This extends from Belmont, so we've got Belmont at Aqueduct, I should say, 44,200. Starts in race number 5 of our 10-race card today. We also have so many things. Belmont Stakes Challenge, a $5,000 buy-in 2-day contest. Head over to NairaBets.com/contest. It's also seated with 2 seats to the BCBC, the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, later in the year. Check that out over at NairaBets.com/contest for more information. A great tournament to play. You can obviously play it through Naira Bets as well. What else do we have? We have first race profit boost, 20% bonus on your bets in the first race. Opting over at Naira Bets, got to do that. Already did that. It's easy. It took me about 2 seconds, which means it'll take most people about a third of a second. Also, we have a $20 bonus. If you bet at least $25 today, tomorrow, Saturday, and $20 on the last day, win or lose, you get $20 back. That's a layup. I opted for that one too, Greg. What else? We got lots of stuff going on here. Special wagers today, a 2-day double. Actually, I made a ticket for that. We'll talk about that later for the show on today. The Belmont Gold Cup in New York. There's a 2-day pick 4, an all-turf triple play as well. I believe is 2, 5, and 8 on today's card.
There's $3 minimums?
3 minimum that. I'm not sure what the minimum is on the double. Is it 5?
Okay,
I know
sure.
I made my bet for $5. Using my top 2 choices. My top 2 choices in the New York tomorrow. A tremendous race in New York. 13 horses lined up for that race. A grade 1. Keep them coming, Eddie. America's Day at the Races. It starts at 12:30. It ends at 6:10. All the action will be on FS2. Greg, race number 1. I think the race number 1, the conversation has to start with a horse who's currently even money. And he's even money just because, and that's Bookworm. And this is a horse that neither one of us is particularly excited about playing, especially at a short price.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's a major concern. It's a Christophe Clement horse that cost $150,000 for a Kitten's Joy who stands for $50,000, and they're dropping this horse first start in for maiden 40. That right there tells you they're not too excited about this horse's ability.
Yeah, these are the kind of horses that you're just supposed to let beat you at short prices. I'm not saying you would throw the horse out of your pick 5 play, but when you're playing this race individually, now the problem is, and you can see some of our picks, which are basically completely different than the other 3 horses, that it's very hard to find a horse that you can sort of lean on in this race. But don't just say, well, because I can't find anybody to lead on here, I'm going to default to a first-time starter at even money that was bought for $150,000, that's debuting in June of his 3-year-old year for $40,000.
Yeah, having said that, the Dam did produce Grade 2 Miss Grillo winner, Pleasant Passage, who was a first-out winner. So there is pedigree.
Good horse for Shug McGay, won the Miss Grillo.
Yes.
2-year-old. I don't care. I don't worry about that stuff. So, Drunk on Saki, is this like a hunch play for you?
I did do Saki bombs in college before I did have my...
You were behaving last night, though. Greg and I had dinner last night.
I behaved?
You didn't have that much to drink because you had to
I had
drive.
a half-hour drive back to Albany.
I had a 4-block walk up the street.
No, I do love Saki, but this this horse, look, the Dam only started once, had speed, won for Wesley Ward, but the only other foal to race, shout out to, I should say, horse did win on synthetic, was 1 for 1. Synthetic can translate to grass, so at least showed some ability on that type of surface. That was a Golden Gate. Golden Gate's final day ever coming up on Sunday. So shout out to Golden Gate.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Sad to
actually.
see him go.
Yeah, very sad.
But
Agreed.
beyond that, this horse, quick on dirt first time out, adds blinkers as well. So you know what their intentions are. They're going to try and wire this field. Keep in mind, too, for today, both turf courses, rail is out 18 feet, could help potentially speed, maybe even a little more. And this horse has a very quick work coming in.
And the rails will be coming down for Friday and Saturday. They'll move them back out for Sunday, just so people know they will be at 0 the next 2 days. But as Greg said, they're out. I went to the number 7 in this race, Pujol. I thought this horse, running against just much, much better horses as last year, ran respectfully enough. I know that, turf figures can be a little bit suspect for also rans, but at least the horse showed speed, and it showed some ability, and now switches to Emron Ibrahim, who I always feel like he's an interesting trainer change, so I stuck this one on top.
Look at the sire, too. Got to bring it up.
Normandy Invasion.
Yeah.
Well, he's running the turf, though.
Well, what today is?
Oh, today, of course, yes, the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Thank you for that. You were trying to cue me on something we were talking about before, and there's a real possibility if those brave people hadn't gone to Normandy, we might not be sitting here enjoying this incredible weekend at Saratoga. So a tip of the hat to anyone involved with that, obviously, and all of our veterans. The number 1, what do you think of the 1 hours in a day? Obviously, you don't like him. This horse has more turf pedigree than dirt, though, at least the dam side. I know this horse is a give-up by Todd Pletcher, but in this field, you don't think this horse could possibly wire the field?
I think this is a race where we could see chaos right off the bat. Initially, this was going to be a major player for me if the race was taken off. Dam was unraced, did produce Greatheart, who was a multiple winner, routing on the dirt. But we could see a little speed, absolutely, from this horse inside.
Let's talk about your second choice, the 10 Dangerous Driver. And I'll go back to a Gulfstream race back in February when this horse finished second. And he's got enough turf ability. And I'll tell you one thing about this horse, Greg. He ran super on the dirt last time. He was extremely unlucky to finish second. The winner was a short-priced blowout winner in there, and he did all the dirty work. I'm saying that having gotten lucky to pick up second with the horse in the exacta. And he's very dangerous in here.
Yeah, and two, dirt that was a muddy track, too, that could translate potentially to grass. But this horse has plenty of performances, against maiden special weight, at least a couple on turf where this horse at least showed a hint of ability. It really is that maiden 35 race on the turf at Gulfstream where this horse showed with that 64 buyer, this horse can run at 22-1 odds on grass, and just has a couple of races in there that, of those who've run on the turf, probably has the best turf race.
And he's coming out of a very good effort on dirt, and he can run on the turf. Our main theme of the first race is don't just default to the first-time starter at a short price in here. Take a bit of a stab somewhere along the way. If you're right, because of the short price in that horse, you're going to get paid. Race number 2 is the first of those 24 stakes this weekend, the Tremont. I remember Bold Forbes, I believe, won the Tremont. We're going to show Alydar winning it in 1977, when most of the time, obviously, run at Belmont Park. And I'm going to start the conversation with 3 Echoes, the Asmussen horse. Greg, I'm going to try to beat this horse. I've got him off the board. I will say what's interesting. Steve Asmussen used to have lousy numbers with 2-year-olds off their debut, winning their debut and coming back in dirt sprints. They have improved dramatically over the last few years.
He has had. They have not performed as we expected off big debuts. It happened last summer. It happened the summer before that. It's going to be Flavian Pratt, by the way. He was going to have his son Keith on board. Broken leg for Keith. Pratt's going to get the
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Well, we're back. Thank you for your patience. And Greg and I will do a quick run through of today's cards. We were on race number 2, and Greg, we were talking about the 5-3 Echoes. I can't see your picks. Who did you pick here?
I went with Wesley Ward and Touchy in here. There's so much. It's a first-time starter for Wesley. Second dam was a sister to Kentucky Oaks winner Summerly. The dam won the debut. But here's the thing I like best. Wesley Ward said from day one, this has been the pick of the litter. Actually worked last Friday in the Oklahoma training track. Started off a few lengths behind the filly, was going to be favored in the Astoria, but scratched without even being asked
finished ahead of her in that work. And that Wesley said, wow, this horse is really talented.
Yeah, I mean, the assumption is this one's good. I picked him second. I just don't want to put these firsters on top, but you're probably right. I picked the 8 Classic, of course, who ran very well for Patrick Van Cohn. Four-horse field or not, the second place horse came back and ran a 63 Beyer. Well, this horse beat it by 6.5 lengths, which would correspond to a Beyer in the 80s. Now, maybe Touchy's just too good, but I'll take Classic horse. I went 8-7-3-1. You went?
I went 7-5-4-8.
Anyone else to touch on quickly?
Yeah, the one horse, a little interesting. It was a sloppy wet track at Laurel. Got up through went up through a really tight spot on the fence, but did get a good setup in the race.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the 3, the first or Dominican Thunder, could be a little bit interesting. They're going to have Wesley Ward to beat, going to be in all likelihood a short price. Race number 3 is a fun New York bred allowance race. I went 7-2-5-8 here, Greg.
I went 5-2-6-7.
Okay, well, why don't you start with the 5 Silver Satin?
All right, Silver Satin, it's Jorge Abreu. Horse comes off a maiden win last time out. And this horse really had to wait for running room in that race. Got an 86 Beyer, career start number 3, big jump up. And I figure it could have been a lot better than that if this horse had free run. Brother to Ice Princess, who's a 4-times winner and a New York bred stakes winner.
He's one of my pets. Ice Princess.
So I think we're going to see improvement from this horse today.
You know, I'm not sure. I don't agree totally on the trip. I thought this horse overall got a very good trip. Shlomo did come back to run 5 Beyer points worse. I'm not sure if he regressed because he certainly didn't look like he was doing any running.
Yeah.
But he's coming out of a stakes quality maiden race. As it turned out, fast in the stake that day. I have no problem with him. I have no problem with Caldo Candy, who I think is very, very dangerous. So you have second as well. His last 2 races have been very good.
No, he has, and he has, to me, the race to beat of anybody in this field last time out. If he can repeat that off that March 24th effort for Bond, he's going to be awfully tough in here.
I like the 7 Landoro, who I really feel has been improving for Christophe Clement. One which turned out to be a very strong race, beating Silver Satin 2 back, and then last time out finished second to horse that just kind of freaked out in there, and I can't ignore the switch to Joel Rosario, so I put Landoro on top. But like you, I think the 5 and 2 are the other 2 horses in here.
Yeah.
7-2-5 for me. Race 4, the Jersey Girl. And, of course, for the 3 of you that don't know this, Jersey Girl was sort of famous because she was Todd Pletcher's first Grade 1 winner.
It's hard to believe.
Horse.
How many has he added since then?
A lot.
Quite a few.
A lot. But I'm sure at the time it was a very, very, very big deal. Any trainer winning their first Grade 1, you don't sit there thinking they're going to have the kind of career that Todd ended up having. And I'm not trying to beat Almost Gone Rocket in here. I went 5-8-4-3 after the scratches. To me, Almost Gone Rocket. I know some people said, well, wet track. Fortunately, it hasn't rained. This horse is good.
Very good. And look, I mean, she was dominant on a fast track in her debut. The 2 races combined, she's won by 16 lengths. She's won on 2 different tracks, wet and dry. And the only other horse to me in here with a scratch, Gray Lightning does have a race 2 back where thoroughgraph-wise, she got a negative number in that sprint win. She might be just incredibly talented, but keep this in mind, those last 2 wins, they did come with Lasix. No one can run with Lasix in here.
No, I think that's worth. But you know what? Also, Almost Gone Rocket's races have come with Lasix as well. You know, Manama Gold will probably take a little money for Todd Pletcher. I got to tell you something. Todd Pletcher's numbers with turnbacks aren't good. He has a $1.04 ROI and a 15% average. And I looked up the horse this horse ran against Dubai, and they are not much.
And she almost got nailed, too. I mean, it was a weakening late UAE Oaks win. She is undefeated, though. Pletcher said he would have preferred 7 furlongs instead of 6, but he's showing up in this spot because he didn't want to go a mile and an eighth in the Acorn coming back off the bench. He has said, though, each of her works since that time away, each one has gotten better and better and better.
Excellent. Better and better. And, yeah, I'm not going to discount her. And everybody here is looking towards the Jersey Girl and ultimately running in the Grade 1 test here on Whitney Day. Race number 5, we're happy that we're on the turf. And, you know, at the end of the day, I tried and I tried and I tried. I can't bet against In the End. I know the horse is coming back in 12 days, but this horse ran terrific last time at Monmouth. I thought that effort would make her very, very tough to beat in here.
Yeah, she's a major player in here. I do think Soretta ran the best race of her career last time out. It's going to be her 15th chance, though. I went to Heart of the Night, the 9. I went 9-11-1-2 in here. She just might not be the same horse.
Wait, you went 9-11-1-2, no 6s at all for you? Wow.
No, it's
I went 6-11-1-2, but
multi-races, I will use the 6, and I think you should. But, yeah, look, this horse, I think getting a little bit shorter ground could help. It is a drop in class, and I think is a confirmed speed of the field, but major question marks if this horse can run anymore.
I totally agree this horse is the speed, and this horse is an enigma in here because her last 2 races have been pitiful.
Yeah.
And yet, she switches across the country. Now she's switching to Horacio de Paz. Never a bad thing, though. Michael McCarthy, who has Whitey, is an excellent, excellent trainer. Hey, we can see ourselves. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I don't know what to say about this horse. I mean, a New York bred, I guess they're going to try New York breds, but man, this horse's last 2 races scared me. I think Soretta is very dangerous, and it doesn't hurt to pick up Frankie Dettori.
No, I actually really like this last race, and Kevin Bond still tries to get that first win of his career. He's going to get it sooner than later. Had a slow start in that race, and I thought finished very good in that spot.
Yeah, I mean, horses like the 1 and 2 are okay. You're trying the 9. I am trying the number 6 in the end. We'll check how our timing is going here. Race number 6. I'm going to guess, and I put him 2nd and 3rd. I went 1-1A. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter. The Pletcher entry is probably going to be short in here, and I won't be surprised when one of them wins. I don't need to take an entry at a super short price with first-time starters, and there is pedigree. You've got a lot of money for the 1A. IRAD's riding workouts. I won't be surprised when wins, but like you, I wanted somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, Audacious, the 1A, the second dam was the Claiborne-bred Yell.
I love Yell.
Yeah, so there's a lot to like.
Fur, I think, in the Mother Goose. Ali Franco horse.
I went to She's Wicked Smart, as you can see, who you have 3rd in here. That was a productive race. Not just your 2-year-old champion filly, just FYI, who she finished 3rd to, and that was She's Wicked Smart's debut here. She had to break from the rail that day. 6th place finisher, came back and won and stakes place on the turf. 7th place finisher, came back and won back-to-back races. 10th place finisher, came back and won a Horseshoe Indy. A lot of productiveness coming out of that race outside of just FYI.
And it's interesting, the 2nd place finisher came back in an off-the-turf race our last day at Aqueduct, right, Memorial Day. And while she lost, she still ran like the same fig, and that was speed, got really good that day. And so even in defeat, and a horse who won ran off on the front end, she ran very well. I don't disagree with you at all. I think She's Wicked Smart ran very, very well in there. I have a little thing for Sicilian Princess, and I understand her first race was on synthetic, but her pedigree is really more leaning towards dirt. She's been working at Keeneland on dirt. I don't think Will Walden's going to have this horse working on dirt and say, she can't handle the dirt and I'm going to ship her. And his horses have run coming here. And her first race was a solid effort, an effort that could make her a real contender if she handles the dirt. And then they decided to try the Busher. And then they ran her along at Keeneland. And then they ran her along on the turf. I'm thinking this horse wants to go short. Now, we know she can go short on synthetic. Maybe she could do it in the dirt. I thought she'd be a bit of a price, so I thought she was kind of an interesting horse. I'm not against the 5. I'm not against the entry, but I thought Sicilian Princess would be the one that might offer a little value. What about Montego Bay, the 3? Any interest in this horse at all?
Look, I mean, Ringy Dingy was a stakes winner at Delaware. The value area was, 2-time winner who was 3rd in the Ruthless. Showed some brief speed in that spot. Absolutely could see improvement from that horse.
Yeah, I don't like the fact the rail was good that day and this horse was down on the rail, but I thought Montego Bay could be an interesting mod horse coming back. Took a little money considering that field. I think Catherine Wheel was like 2-5 in that race. The race that she was a super, super short price and had a bit of a trouble trip. See what happens. Interesting. Let me point out one other thing here. You've got the horse 4th. I had the horse as my 5th pick. The 2 Silvology, isn't it a little interesting that Sugar's running this horse in what could be a loaded maiden race in the dirt? Because this horse's pedigree is all route on the turf, and good.
Yeah, I mean, produced Onus, who's grade 3 winner on the grass. The second dam, I will say, was a multiple sprinter winning on the dirt.
Yeah, but you look at what Onus has done, his production has been, it's all. No, I think that, there's enough dirt if you go back there. And this is one of those counterintuitive horses. Sugar's probably not running this horse to embarrass himself because he knows the pedigree.
Bullet out of the gate, quickest to 44 drill coming into Belmont Training Track. So this horse may have some ability.
And, of course, Joe Rosario won the Kentucky Derby for these connections with Orb, race number 7.
I have a single in the pick 6.
I like a horse in the 7th. I think that if Ways and Means doesn't win the 7th, there might be a carryover. They may pay $4, all the other horses.
There may not be a ticket that does not single Ways and Means.
Certainly the smaller tickets will be singling her. It is amazing and that she's 1 for 4 in her career.
Yeah.
But she did get hurt in the spin away, and she had a bad break. She ran very well. She ran an exceptional race in the Gulfstream Oaks in her 3rd start. And then, listen, chasing Torpedo Anna in that fast pace, and she probably doesn't want to go quite that far. She's run very well every time she's run. She's a good one, and, they're going to drop back and obviously looking more towards trying the test as opposed to the distance races going forward.
Facing older fillies and mares, facing multiple winners, I don't think it matters. She deserves to be 2-5 in this spot. She's I think she'll show it.
I agree. I thought, you think the one was, we both got the 7-6-1. I almost went 7-1-6. I thought Do Gooder actually ran okay last time in that sloppy 8 bells. I like the fact that she just sort of kept persevering despite the fact that she was basically outrun, but she never really conceded. She kept sort of moving forward. I think she's okay.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I have her third in this spot. She will make an equipment change and maybe try and get her in the mix a little bit because those first couple of starts of her career, yeah, they weren't great at stakes company, but she was more forward.
And I think with that workout and with the 2 scratching, she could be the speed in here. Ways and Means won't be far off, and I'm glad to see her back. She's obviously the shortest price and the biggest single in this pick 6. Carryover $44,000. I think $200 starts in race number 5. Race number 8, we have not scratched the MTOs in here. Race number 8, we're just trying to, obviously see what happens. Given the forecast, we should be good to go here with this. Obviously, we'll monitor it going forward. Hopefully, a decision can be made before the pick 6 starts. We're going to run the 10th on the turf regardless. Like you, Greg, I went to all good here. I know this horse's last turf race at Belmont was very good, and that field was solid.
It was, yeah. Born Dancer came back out of there to win. Look, it was back on June 23rd of last year. This horse has been off for almost a year now. It is a question mark, gelded, so they weren't getting, obviously, what they wanted out of this horse. But I'm with you. That turf race was very good, and it was a big, slow and steady, and then big jump up improvement third time on the grass. And I tried to find some others in here. I tried to get cute maybe with the 3, the donk horse. First timer has a little bit of pedigree. First time out, it's going to be a tough task for that horse.
Eddie, if we can't, that's fine. But if we can show replays for races 9 and 10, we now have a monitor so we can see them. We'll try to do it. But if not, don't worry about it. I thought Romantic Charmer was interesting. The Dam was you obviously did too. The Dam was a multiple winner on the turf. And it's only the second foal to try it. Mendelssohn, a Scat Daddy, an effective turf sire. And this horse ran a gigantically improved race last time. I thought ran very well.
Yeah, and did have little issues out of the gate, and I think there's a chance potentially this horse could be the speed of the race.
I guess it depends what the 8 does, right? I mean, isn't the 8 supposed to be going coming out of the sprint? But it's certainly not going to be far out of it. This horse ran well last time. I'm not a big fan of the 9. I know I'm at 3rd and you have him 4th. Mott doesn't have great layoff stats and turf routes, and I don't know. Has this horse really ever done any running in his races?
No, but it's the kind of race where there's no standout, right?
Yeah,
so, I mean, even
win,
an okay effort in here might be enough to get it done. I thought this was one of the toughest races in the sequence.
I'm curious about the 11 Metatron. I was going to bet Metatron if this race came off the turf. Because for the notice to get bet, I mean, this horse was bet like iron in that race. The winner was a Chad Brown second-time starter, and this horse got bet in the face of it. And I know the horse didn't run that well, kind of broke out sharply at the start. I don't really see a ton of turf pedigree, to be honest. It's more dirt. But you do have to think where there's smoke, there's fire with that horse's, the way that horse was bet.
It's not going to happen. It's not even worth saying. But if it does happen to come off, 16's a lock, right?
No, I picked the 11 Metatron.
Really?
Yes. Okay. The 16 on paper, Ironman Ira, obviously a huge favorite, and the horse to beat. But I cannot ignore the money that Metatron took. Now, I don't want to bet this horse in the turf, but I would want to bet him on the dirt.
All right.
Race number 9, I can't hear the truck, so I don't know. We'll be surprised if we have replays or not. If we do, we'll start with the replay that involves the Queen's MG beating West Memorial.
First ever starter for 1,000 words.
Is that right?
And
it's a good race.
Wins at 45 to 1.
And beats a horse in West Memorial. West Memorial is not a private purchase. This horse was with Swedbank before this. It's a trainer change, and it's a trainer's deputizing for George Weaver, by the way. They beat the rest field by 11 lengths, and then West Memorial comes back and wins a stake.
Against the boys.
Yeah, these horses are interesting.
Yeah.
And by the way, Queen's MG is a private purchase. First time for Savvy Joseph. This horse was bought out of this race.
West Memorial, who, as you said, came back, beat the boys, actually bumped this horse out a little bit coming out of the gate in that debut, and Queen's MG, who had that far outside post, still got up to win. I like this horse. $45,000 earned for a horse that only cost $3,500.
I think they sold the horse for more than $3,500. I could be wrong.
I'm
guessing they're turned a healthy profit with this one.
Yeah, look, this horse coming back, the value's completely evaporated, plus Arad Ortiz Jr. is going to be aboard.
Goes to Safi Joseph. No, I bought the horse second, and I have no argument with you. I'm going to take French Horn, and another horse, and I know I look like I'm Mr. Synthetic today, but French Horn's pedigree suggests this horse should probably handle dirt, and they worked on The train track at Woodbine is a dirt course and worked 58-3. I know it's a small field. This horse just destroyed the field, and I thought Frenchhorn was pretty interesting coming here for Mark Casse.
Mark Casse said, look, it was on synthetic, but he said this filly worked phenomenal on the dirt. The Dam, of course, won the Prioress when it was a Grade 1.
She's Alan Jerkin's last Grade 1 win.
Yeah.
And, of course, the sire Complexity I have mad love for. And he's doing well so far.
Yeah, this is a major play. You got to use this horse, I think.
I think Dangerous as well. Let's see what about the two Iraqi? I know this horse is impressive, and I think we were cut off as we were wishing Keith Asmussen a speedy recovery and wishing him the best, obviously. Sorry he's not able to come here and ride. I thought this horse got a very good trip, and horses have come out of that race to not run particularly well.
Yeah, that's what concerned me a little bit. It's going to be Joel Rosario, by the way, filling in for Keith Asmussen, again with that broken leg. Certainly this horse could improve. There's some other Asmussens, though, that earlier on in the card I think are more impressive. I thought there were some interesting runners in here to go elsewhere in this spot.
What about the one?
Any of these horses, to me, really could jump up. I was intrigued by the one quite a bit. I actually had the 1 second in here.
I see. No, talk about it. This horse, it's funny watching the race because this horse, they were riding the heck out of this horse, was going backwards, and then came again late, suggesting that the extra furlong is not going to hurt.
I love the finish from this filly, and it was a Steve Asmussen horse who won that race. It was a Wesley Ward 1-4 favorite who was second in there.
Got caught. The race fell apart. The race was collapsing a little bit late, but I like the way this horse sort of came again.
Yeah, and it was a major improvement. Getting more ground, too, may be exactly what this horse wants. And again, the finish I really liked. And Jenna Antonucci has some good young horses.
No, this horse is an interesting maiden in here. This is a fun race, the Astoria, race number 9. Our final race, the Belmont Gold Cup. It'll start a 2-day double into the New York. I don't know if you looked at the New York extensively
Not
yet?
extensively, no.
I'm making I have a bet for the TV show where I'm going to make doubles with the 1 and 12 into my top 2 choices. And I went a little off the reservation in New York. I'm using American Sonia.
I do like her.
And the
11
horse, the Cherise, the 11 horse, the Cherie de Vaux trains, whose name escapes me right now, who I think it's not quite enough distance, but ran very well. A little more distance, I would have liked that horse even more.
I think American Sonia is like 10-1 morning line.
Yeah, that race is a war. I mean, my gosh, that race is so good, is so strong going in that More Like Goddess is 4-1 in the morning line.
That's amazing.
And she's the goods. Now we'll start with Siskany and the Grey Wizard running 1-2 in this race last year. I have no problem with the 12. Like you, I think the 11's a player. The one thing I'll say about Siskany is I think this is a tougher field than last time. And also, got post 2 in this race last year. And now with a 4-turn race, has post number 12. William Buick is going to need all his powers to make sure he gets a good trip. He might be better than these. I thought this race a little tougher.
He probably is better than these. Yeah. Look, he won this race last year pretty convincingly. Charlie Appleby looking for his 12th graded stakes win in New York. Cheek pieces are going to come off, by the way, for what that's worth. That field last time out, you say, oh, well, he ran 4th. He's tailing off a little bit. I don't know if he's really tailing off. That was a pretty good field that he faced last
race
time.
Wasn't terrible at all.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of price he was. I thought he ran fine.
I will say I went with the Grey Wizard just to try and get a little bit of an upset because Graham Motion just feels the longer the better with his horse. He was really disappointed with that race coming back off the bench, and he felt like he needed to get another race in him, and he had to race him into shape.
He ran super
and he ran huge last start.
I mean, that was a completely paceless race. The pace totally held together. Nobody was closing. He was 3 wide the entire way around this racetrack. He got a little bit ranked during the running of the race, and he was still running at the end, and nobody else was running at the end.
No, there's a lot to like. And he's a 5-year-old who I think now getting more ground too.
We have some 3-year-olds behind us.
Starting to come into his own. And Graham Motion, he had said he toyed with Better Talk Now, actually going to the Melbourne Cup. Winner of this race gets that automatic berth into the Melbourne Cup. So if this horse could win, it sounds like they want to go.
Does he know it's a little late to go to the Melbourne Cup with Better Talk Now? Should somebody tell him? Yes, this is a win and you're in for the Melbourne Cup. Greg and I would like to come with you, by the way. We'd like to make the trip with you if there's room on the plane. I want to talk about the number 1 limited liability, who I picked on top in here. I've always felt that this is a horse that more ground is better. The longer the race is, the better. So 2 miles, great. And he has run some very good races in his day, going longer against better fields. I thought he might have run one of the best races he ever ran last time at 9 furlongs against tough competition. Now he gets so much more distance. He draws the rail, and I actually feel like Eric Hansel fits this horse extremely well because he's an extremely patient rider. and he's just going to sit back and hope things work out and the horse makes that run. I thought he was very interesting drawing inside. Once again, I'm not against Siskany, and neither are you. We both wanted other alternatives.
And I just want to throw in one other horse, too. By the way, that race in the Sycamore from Limited Liability makes that horse a major player. But Sabolian, probably not good enough to win this race, but I think a horse who can get a piece of this. The blinkers are going to come off from him today for a jump trainer in Arch Kingsley. And you look at his 2 Belmont Gold Cups he's run in the past. He actually ran pretty good in both those races.
Yeah. No, I agree. And, speaking of horses that can handle two miles, look at 6 Minus. I mean, 6 Minus did win the Alan Jerkins down in Florida at 2 miles. I wonder how the Chief would feel about having a 2-mile turf race named for him, though I'm sure he'd be honored to have any race named for him. The problem is this is a much tougher field than he was facing that day.
Yeah, I think he's going in the right direction, though, which is a good thing for Pletcher. And I think that was a sneaky better-than-looked race last time out. He's paired up thoroughgraph-wise 2 races where he's run figures that look like he's going to move forward. But even if he does take a bit of it, he'd need to take a big jump, I feel, to contend with Siskany, the Grey Wizard, the horse you like on the rail.
What about Champagne Juan? My friend Dave Aragona likes this horse. I thought he'd have to improve a lot, but True Quality did come back and run significantly better.
I saw that he picked this horse. I'm with you. I think this horse would need to take a huge leap to contend in here. It's an A other than allowance that he won by a half length last time out. Maybe he can do it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I just didn't think he was quite good enough, and maybe he takes a step forward for Christophe Clement. Anyway, we are sorry for the delay in the show, but we appreciate all the people here that did an amazing job in at least getting us over here on this other set so we continue the show. So thanks to our team that never, ever disappoints here, the people behind the scenes that never, ever get the credit they deserve. But we appreciate all the work that got to be able to get up, and hopefully things will be smooth sailing going forward.
Good luck, everyone, today. Don't forget that Pick 6 carryover, and we're kicking it off. Belmont Stakes Racing Festival about to be underway.
No, it's going to be an amazing weekend, and you're going to play all the races through Naira Bets. Head on over to Naira Bets. Use the promo code Belmont25, and we will match the $200 initial deposit and give you that free $25 bet. We also have, don't remember, it's been so long, Eddie, Pick 6 carryover, $44,200. That starts in race number 5. We have the Belmont Stakes Challenge, $5,000 buy-in. You can also play it online and on track. 2 BC seats about the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge as well will be in there. And obviously, it's a cash money play. A lot of fun. Check out the details, nairabets.com/contest. We have a first race, 20% bonus on your winnings in the first race today. Opted at Naira Bets. Also opted over there if you bet 25, 25, 25, and for some reason only 20 on Sunday. Eddie? There you go. $20 on Sunday, you'll get a $20 back, win or lose. It's only, no, I got it. Yes, you'll get $20 for this ninth. I got it. So you only bet 25 the 3 days, and then you get the 20 for Sunday.
There you go. So bet 75.
So I definitely will cut $20 off my losses. Should I manage to lose, which seems like it's
We're already ahead.
All right, the Belmont Gold Cup 2-day double with the New York. That's race number 10 today, and I think that's race 11 tomorrow. I gave out that play. I'm using the 5 and 11 tomorrow with the 1 and 12 today. Also, you have a 2-day pick 4 as well as an all-turf triple play. I think it's 2, 5, and 8 on today's card. And keep them going, 12:30 to 6:10. All the action on FS2. All right, guys, that's it. Greg, thank you. And once again, thanks to the team. Obviously, difficult situation, but you guys overcame it, as you always do. Frank Miramati will be up with a reprise, the Scratches and Changes, in just a moment, and then we'll have a special presentation of the Star Spangled Banner. Have a great day and an amazing weekend to kick off Belmont Stakes Racing Festival.
Almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.